Hello again, all my friends, parents, teachers, dogs, cats, pets, animals of the world, anyone watching this video. This is our 7th video in our measurement unit. We're all the way up to 7 now. I can't believe it. Mysterio, can you believe it?
I can't believe it either.
She can't believe it either. Today, we are going to be looking at the wonderful world of circles. Those two really aren't circles. These are more oval-like, so I'm going to get rid of them. Let's try that a bit better. That's a pretty good circle, but we're going to tell you that these are circles. And as always, happy to be here is
Mrs. Stereo. This is T. I don't have too much
not
space.
enough room. And it's Mr. Benjamin. And I don't have enough room, but that's never stopped me before. I'm going to write it in. Benjamin. Good enough. You know who's here. So, the plan for this week and possibly into next week. So today's lesson is all about circles, like we talked about. Circles, we're going to be looking at area and perimeter. Now, they have slightly different names when we talk about what area and perimeter for a circle are, and we will explain that when we get into it. After that, we're going to be looking at nets. Now, nets are shapes that you can write down on paper that you can then take and turn into 3D figures or 3D shapes, which will lead us into volume. Volume is a measurement of how much a 3D shape can hold. Now these, like I said, will take approximately 1 to 2 days each, so it should take this week and probably into next. We're going to talk about the parts of a circle and specific names and values that we have to use to define the area and perimeter of the circle. So we have this symbol here, and I think a lot of you have seen it before. I'm going to draw it a bit bigger over here, try to make it look a little bit fancier. This is known as pi. And pi... No, oh, it doesn't have the E? Are you sure it doesn't have the E?
Sure.
Okay, we'll erase the E.
That's the apple pie.
It's the apple pie. Well, I like apple pie. I like all types of pie. So this is actually just pi. And pi is a constant. Pi, for our purposes, will always be known as 3.14. So when we use pi to find out the area or perimeter, which have different names like we said, when we use it to find those values, we're always going to be using 3.14. Now we have a D here and an R here, and if you look at this figure, if you look at our circle, our nice little pink/purpley circle, we can see that the D line connects all the way from one side to the other through the middle of the circle. And that line is known as the diameter.
So that will be basically the line that cuts the circle in two.
That's the line that cuts the circle in half, exactly. And that's that there. Now the little line, the red one, that is exactly half of the diameter. Half of D. And this is known as the radius. So we are going to move into an example? I believe so. Actually, no, first we have to talk about the names that we use for the area and perimeter. The perimeter, that's not right. Perimeter of a circle is known as the circumference. Oh, it's an E there. Oh, I'm making mistakes everywhere. Stereo, you got to catch these earlier. You're making me look bad. Circumference. Now, do you know why it's called circumference?
Friends.
Oh, I did it again. All right. E-R-E-N-C-E. There you go.
That's good.
So why is it called circumference?
I don't know. What do you call it?
Well, this might not be true, but this is what I've been told. Now, there was a man right here, who lived in France. And he traveled all the way around the world, and then he met up with his king, and he said, "Sir, I came from France. Circumference. Now, that's just a silly joke that I find funny. Maybe you didn't find funny.
That's very funny.
See, Mysterio found it funny, so I'm happy.
Very smart.
Now, when we get into the area of a circle and the circumference, which is the perimeter, we have to use some different formulas. Stereo, you want to take over?
Okay, sure. For the circumference, we are going to have this big C in here to represent circumference. And that equals pi. Do you remember pi?
3.14.
That's 3.14. Very good. 3.14. And the diameter. We know what the diameter was, right? So what was the diameter? The line that actually cuts the circle in half.
Right in half.
That's the very, very crooked line.
And it goes
That's
right
what
through
it
the
is.
center.
Right. So yeah, the only value that you actually have to know is the diameter, because you already have the pi, right? So that's a value that will never change, is a constant. Now in here for the circle, do you see this, the purple line that you see there? That is the circumference. Now the circle in here, the yellow line that you have seen here is still the circumference. So what will be the circle? The circle is what is inside the circumference.
That kind of looks like a grape pie, maybe?
Sorry. All of these purple
Blueberry
thing that
pie?
you see there, the part inside the circle, that's called the area. And this is the equation that we're going to use to calculate the area. So area equals pi times r squared. Now you have to be very careful. This is not 2r. Very careful. That is r times r, not r plus r or 2r. That is r times r. So
R is what the pirates say.
pi times r squared is r times r. Okay, so multiply this r. Is like because this is a power. Remember, that's a power. Is you have to multiply by itself. All right. So now we can go to an example, Mr. Benjamin.
Example, question mark. See, we knew this ahead of time. What we're going to do is we're going to make a big circle. That's a pretty big circle. That would be a nice looking pie if we made a pie, but we're not going to make pie right now. What we have to do is find the center of that circle and draw our diameter. We're going to give this diameter a value. What kind of value you want to put for this diameter?
Maybe 12 centimeters.
12 centimeters? Let's change that. Let's make something different.
Okay, sure. Let's do 8.5.
8.5. That's going to be difficult. 8.5 centimeters. So our diameter equals 8.5 cm. And we are trying to find the circumference and area of our circle. So to find our circumference, we have to go back to our formula. C is equal to pi times d. And we know what pi is. Pi is a constant. Pi is always equal to 3.14. And d, our diameter, we know is 8.5. So it equals 3.14 times 8.5. And, Ms. Terrio, I can't do that off the top of my head. Can you do that off the top of your head?
No, I can't. So let me see. 3.15.
Oh, it's a horrible line. Let's try that again.
5.
Kind of look like a car. It's going to be an orange. Ooh, squiggles. Very nice. Now I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 30, maybe just a bit less than that.
It's 26.69.
26.69. 26.69 centimeters. And this we can round, right? You want to round this up?
No.
You going to keep it as is?
No. We should keep it as is.
26.69. It's more exact that way. So our circumference is equal to 26.69.
Now you have to remember that the units for the circumference is only centimeters. Linear centimeters.
Yep, because it's a distance, right? Distance around. Remember, sir, I come from France.
Right.
So we're going to get rid of all that fun stuff. If you need to see it again, you can always rewind your video. Now we are going to find our area. Area of our circle. And our formula for area, Ms. Terrio, remind me again.
Okay, area equals pi times r squared.
Pi times r squared. Now, one thing that we didn't mention, we have to mention bed mass. Everyone remembers bed mass, right? And if you don't, I'm going to run through it really quickly. B stands for brackets, so you always do the brackets first. E stands for exponents, which we have exponents. So we have to do the exponents first in this equation because we have no brackets.
Right.
Then it's division, multiplication, addition, subtraction.
That's right.
Don't worry about that too much, but the exponents is what we are worried about.
So, yeah.
So in this case, our diameter was 8.5. Therefore, our radius should equal half of 8.5, which is 4.25? 4.25, very good.
That's good. So maybe you can draw the radius.
Oh, we should draw the radius. Very good.
Yeah, just to see it, right?
4.25.
That's perfect. Yeah,
centimeters.
Right.
So, area equals 3.14 times 4.25 squared. I'm going to put that in brackets. So we know that that's the first thing we do.
The square should be outside the brackets.
Square should be outside the brackets. Yeah. Oh, made a mistake. I'm going to write the whole thing again. Times 4.25 brackets
squared.
Squared.
Perfect.
So now we can put that into our calculator. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in 2 steps to show you that. I have to do the squaring first. So it's 3.14 times whatever 4.25 squared is. And I think that's going to be close to 20. Maybe a bit less. 18 point...
Yeah, but do 4.25 times
4.25, yeah.
And still keep the brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So just for them to know, right?
Yep. And what is the answer? 18 point...
So that's 18.06.
18.06.
Right.
So now this is just a normal multiplication. 3.14 times 18.06, which is us.
Times 3.14 equals 56.71.
56.71. Now, is this going to be in centimeters or is it going to be...
It has to be squared.
Centimeters squared. Never forget. Area, centimeters squared.
So in here, the centimeters.
Oh, yeah, centimeters.
In here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, the reason why I didn't want to take 12 centimeters in the first question is because I knew it was in our try this question. So remember that our diameter, we have it listed at 12 centimeters. And our radius is always half of the diameter, which equals 6 centimeters. So we want you to find circumference in centimeters and area of the circle in centimeters squared. And that looks like that's it for this video. So what are we going to say?
So thank you very much, and
Thank you. Big face. It's all purple.
Great.
Getting ready for Easter.
that's good.
See you all tomorrow.